Hello, my beautiful people. I know that I was supposed to be promising to talk about more funny and comedic stuff, and maybe I will one day. I actually tried to the other day talking about my team. I don't know why it does that with the reception. I actually wasn't going to talk about this, but it came about again, and just another interesting. There's always something interesting. Observations of myself in terms of my healing. So I think I want to start with saying everybody has a story. Everybody's learning different lessons depending on how you look at life. Not everybody looks at life, right? The same. Not everybody's going to understand our journey. Sometimes we explain to people, they still don't get it. That's okay, right? So if you haven't listened to me before, this has always been about personal empowerment. And part of the reasons of me being here that I have realized, right, in helping and serving is sharing this part of how I've become, for lack of a better word, empowered, right? So, introvert to more extroverted, learning self defense, how that was a big part of my journey, why it's a big deal. You would have thought something happened to me severely in this life physically, right? So, but most of my stuff, I believe it to be emotional trauma. And sometimes I look at this could be a past life thing, the way that I reacted in self defense and what it did to me. It's, like maybe something happened to me in a past life just because of just the different emotions that have come as a result of, who I was before, while I was training, what was going on, and me wanting to actually, instruct. And I've just realized while I love it, I would love teaching it on a basic level. I'm more the mindset, right? Mental readiness coach. So I wanted to say that first. Everybody on a different journey. This is mine specifically. Um, Even in this, like any area, I feel like unless you're going through certain things, um, somebody is not going when you're going through certain things, not a lot of people can relate unless they are going through it as well. Very specific, right? So I have always been surrounded by women, not always, but later in my life after self defense. But, looking back around me, how many people have been involved in domestic violence or something like that, right? And this is the average person. This is not a low income. This is nothing in there. This is the average. It could be housewife, it could be whatever, not going what goes on behind closed doors, like they all say. It could be something that happens randomly, it could be something happens daily, right? We're talking about physically, like domestic violence. And so my journey, if you haven't listened to me before, was having an altercation with a family member. I didn't speak up for myself because I didn't know how, and then I found Krav Maga 6 months later, right? Changed my world. I actually feel like I learned it backwards, right? I learned the physical and then I learned verbal on my own, um, or pursued it on my own. And so that was like 10 or 11 years ago. So today, why I'm bringing this up is because I guess I'm a little bit surprised I'm still crying when I talk about this sort of stuff. And because talking about it with somebody again going through or who has gone through similar things, but with them, because a lot of the stories I hear, they are all physical stories. And she was talking about, who she was before, what if she knew then, this sort of stuff. And so, of course, it's bringing up issues of the person that I was before. And so emotional, but also not only that, the significant players in our life, that have helped us, including my self-defense instructor originally in Krav Maga. So, people playing significant roles in our life. And again, I just feel like you can't always explain to others or what you're going through. And that's why some stuff, I would say, in terms of, it's not about keeping them private necessarily, but sharing these parts of our stories, not everybody's going to get it, right? Or be empathetic or compassionate. I know those are two different things, but feeling for somebody else or understanding or whatever it is, that's okay. It doesn't even mean anybody's meant to, but you can't always, like I said, relate with people on this. And when you find somebody that relates, it's really beautiful and magical. But I think lastly, what I wanted to say is that what's part of been so rewarding is that the person that I have become, and also that I can share on here what it's done for me, because personal empowerment, male or female, is a bigger deal than we think. I think, because the reward is when you pursue these sorts of things, which I highly recommend any sort of self-defense system, what it does for you in many areas of your life. And I also want to interject in saying in here, because I've heard this before in a lot of different stories, is that getting in these relationships, I know this person was talking about the person that she was with was not like this, was trying to hurt her physically, was not like this in the first like 4 years of their relationship. So they actually, they changed. And I think that's where almost like a lot of the mental stuff with your own head, in the meantime, making excuses for the person, or hey, they're not doing it that often, or it's not that bad, right? Or whatever it is, that strength in just being able to end it and cut it off and all those things you still need to go through, but to have the strength to be able to do that. So people sometimes want to blame people that get into physical or domestic situations. You need to do that. You're dumb. You're stupid. She's dumb. He's dumb. Everybody is stupid that puts up with that. And you never really know, like I said, when you're going through a situation, what somebody is thinking in their mind. I know she's looking back at it like I was young and stupid or whatever it is. And, but I just didn't know. So whether you're not reacting, right, because you're fearful or you have no skills, or, sometimes you react with people too, you might make them more mad. It's the same thing if this stuff could happen with a stranger attacking you. But the taking action is the most important thing, but being mentally fit. Um, and again, no amount of my describing can kind of explain to somebody else like the rewards that you get. And I think if you are a person like me who did not come from fighting in my rural Pennsylvania town, never knew anything about it, it's of course too more impactful. It strengthened me. It all the things that it did for me. And some people that grow up fighting, this is right their lifestyle. They already know about this kind of stuff. But for people like me, it's a really big deal. Okay, so I highly recommend training in any sort of system, but for sure, real self defense, because martial arts is just, I agree, like with a lot of other people, it's totally different. And I love the military ishness of Krav Maga. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess end right here by saying, I guess I was surprised that I'm still crying because this has been like over 10 years. I also could be crying because the connecting with people and realizing how special people can be to us that play such a significant role. I describe it as significant role. My sensei, self-defense instructor, Chris, um, he has always been meaningful in this significant role, but um, these players in our life, we want to call them players because they are playing a role. If you look at it, maybe you've heard of this as life being a stage. These people, some people come in out of our lives, for a very short time, even just a brief, sorry, my nose, a brief time, even if it's a few minutes, right? Somebody walks by, you have a quick conversation with them or say hello, whatever the thing is. But these other people that not only leave lasting impressions, but for me, now at this point, looking back, at all these different, like I say, players in life who stayed, who left, who came back in, anyway, very significant people, teachers. I feel like we are all feel and know that we are all teachers of each other. So I think if anything, not judging anybody's journey would, like the saying goes, right? Don't judge another man until you've walked in their shoes. And then the other saying about glass houses, throwing stones. I just wanted to come in out here and say that I'm surprised that I'm still crying over this. So it means I'm probably still healing. And the impact, you never know what kind of impact you are making in another person's life. And this was just a very significant part of my personal empowerment journey that I will be talking about forever, for those that are interested, because it still fascinates me, because like I said, I never expected in my life that it would even go this way. I really didn't know what to expect really at all, which a lot of us think like that, right? So that is all, my people. I will talk to you next time, and there's a lot of other things going on right now in my mind, including that yesterday was definitely a love-hate relationship with the world. And I'm laughing at myself because, yes, I will still be myself, but I definitely know what it's like to hate and be angry. And I have embraced my dark side. So I don't think that's something more that I need to learn. I think if anything, it's just a test, is that I'm going to still keep doing good, and I'm still going to be being of love. Yes. Even when the crazy people on Elk Grove Boulevard, where I was getting the oil change, almost hit me on the road when I was walking. Yes, there was no crosswalk, but they didn't even slow down. I was already in the road and they didn't even slow down. So then I finished off the day by somebody calling me beautiful. So that helped me, because her eggs were just a little bit off of the the thing when you're paying for your items, your grocery, the little rolling thing, that her tray, like she was apologizing because it was a little bit hanging off. So anyway, we just exchanged some words of that helped me. Just, that was, so I had to call her beautiful. So let's see if I talk about that more next in the video. I don't know. I may have overstepped that phase of yesterday and moving on. We will see. Okay, so I'll talk to you in the next video, people. Thanks for listening. Bye.